A hearty welcome to Meghan and Harry Tales channel, your one-stop destination for everything Sussexes. I am your host, Kelly, and I am thrilled to guide you through the fascinating world of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Today, we set our sights on debunking some persistent myths. We're diving into the narrative spun by Phillips, who has described Meghan Markle as super-controlling and Prince Harry as a loser. Such claims, we believe, are not only shallow but deeply misguided. Our journey today will take us beyond these baseless criticisms, exploring the strength, resilience and leadership of Meghan and Harry. We will uncover the truth behind their decisions, their challenges and their triumphs. So grab your cup of tea or coffee, sit back and prepare to see the Sussexes in a whole new light. Stay tuned as we unpack the narrative perpetuated by Phillips. First, we turn our attention to Meghan Markle, often portrayed as controlling for taking an active role in her and Harry's future. But let's pause for a moment and consider the context. Prior to stepping into royal duties, Meghan had already carved out a successful career for herself. She was not a silent participant in her own life, but a vocal advocate for causes she passionately believed in, such as women's rights and racial equality. It is important to remember that her active participation in both her personal life and the broader society did not start when she joined the royal family. It was part of who she was. So, to label her controlling for continuing her advocacy work alongside her husband, for insisting on using her platform to uplift others, is not only a misinterpretation, it's a gross oversimplification. When did we start criticizing women for taking charge of their lives? When did we start vilifying them for speaking up for what they believe in? The narrative of Meghan being controlling is not just a critique of her actions, but a reflection of the outdated and sexist attitudes that still persist in our society. This narrative disregards the fact that Meghan is a leader. She is someone who is not afraid to take the reins, to steer her life in the direction she wants. She exhibits qualities we usually admire in individuals: independence, leadership and confidence. Yet these very qualities are used as a stick to beat her with, to diminish her, to make her less than she is. Meghan is not a controller. She is a leader. She is a woman who knows her worth, who knows what she wants, and is not afraid to go after it. She is a woman who refuses to be silenced, refuses to be sidelined, refuses to be anything less than what she is, a force to be reckoned with. So let's change the narrative. Let's recognize and celebrate Meghan for what she truly is, a leader. Because at the end of the day, Meghan is vilified for qualities we applaud in others: independence, leadership and confidence. Now, let's talk about Prince Harry, labelled as a loser for distancing himself from the British royal family. This claim is not only misguided, but it also grossly misrepresents the reality of Harry's character and choices. Prince Harry served his country with valour and dedication, spending 10 years in the military and undertaking 2 tours in Afghanistan. His commitment to service and his courage in the face of danger are testament to his strength and resilience. To label him a loser for such honourable service is not only disrespectful, but it's also a gross misunderstanding of the true meaning of heroism. But his heroism doesn't stop there. Harry has lived his life under the intense scrutiny of the public eye, a pressure that few can fully comprehend. Yet, he has shown immense bravery in choosing his family and mental health above royal obligations. He had the courage to step away from a life of privilege and tradition to protect his wife and children from the hostile environment they faced in the UK. This isn't the move of a loser, but rather it's a bold and heroic decision that demonstrates his strength and conviction. Additionally, the narrative that Prince Harry is somehow weak or manipulated because he chose to prioritise his mental health and the well-being of his family is not just wrong, it's harmful. It perpetuates a toxic cycle where men are shamed for expressing vulnerability and making personal choices. Harry and Meghan made these decisions together, as a team. They chose to put their family first, to live their lives on their own terms, and to stand up to the oppressive systems that threaten their peace and happiness. These actions aren't indicative of weakness, but of strength, bravery, and a deep love for one another. In the end, it's not about winning or losing. It's about living authentically, standing up for what you believe in, and challenging the status quo. We see men standing by their partners and standing up to oppressive systems as a sign of heroism, not weakness. And that's exactly what Prince Harry has done. His actions speak louder than any baseless criticism. He's a hero, not a loser. Let's address the narrative that Meghan is the manipulator behind Harry's actions. This notion is not only unfair, but also ungrounded. Prince Harry, a man of stature and strength, has been very open about the emotional and psychological traumas he endured growing up in the royal family. His decision to step away from royal duties was not an impulsive act, manipulated by Meghan, but a well-considered move made in consultation with his wife, reflecting the mutual respect and shared decision-making in their relationship. Together, they decided to prioritize their mental health and the well-being of their family over the relentless pressures of royal life. This choice wasn't made in haste or under duress, but after careful deliberation, embodying the essence of teamwork. They worked together to navigate the choppy waters of public scrutiny, and in doing so, demonstrated the strength of their bond, their shared values, and their commitment to one another. Yet, there are those who insist on viewing Harry's choices through a narrow lens, painting him as a victim of manipulation, rather than acknowledging his autonomy and agency. This not only diminishes Harry's strength, but also perpetuates a harmful stereotype that men who make decisions that prioritize vulnerability and emotional well-being are somehow weak or manipulated. Let's be clear, choosing to protect your mental health is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to acknowledge one's emotional struggles and take steps to address them, especially in a society that often stigmatizes mental health issues. Prince Harry's decision to do so should be applauded, not criticized. Moreover, stigmatizing men for showing vulnerability and making personal choices that prioritize their mental health and family's safety only serves to perpetuate a toxic cycle. It's time we change this narrative and acknowledge that men, like women, have the right to make choices that prioritize their emotional well-being without being shamed or judged. Criticizing him for prioritizing his mental well-being and his family's safety isn't just wrong, it perpetuates a toxic cycle where men are shamed for being vulnerable and making personal choices. Meghan and Harry have navigated a path that no other modern royal couple has, leaving behind royal duties for a life on their terms. This decision, while controversial to some, has allowed them to break free from the constraints of tradition and carve out a unique path for themselves. They've not only taken a leap of faith into the unknown, but they've done so while under the watchful eyes of the world. This is a testament to their courage and determination. They've chosen to prioritize their happiness, their family, and their mental health above all else, a choice that's not always simple, but is undeniably brave. Their journey has sparked important conversations around the world. They've used their platform to shed light on issues of mental health, a topic often shied away from, especially in royal circles. They've opened up about their struggles, their fears, and their hopes, providing a beacon of hope for many who are going through similar experiences. They've shown that it's okay to not be okay, and that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Furthermore, they've challenged the narrative around race and racism, not just in the UK, but globally. Meghan, as a woman of colour, has spoken candidly about her experiences with racism and the toll it has taken on her mental health. Their openness on this issue has forced many to confront the uncomfortable realities of systemic racism, sparking much-needed dialogues and introspection. Their actions have undoubtedly ruffled some feathers. They've been labelled as troublemakers, as disruptors, but in reality, they're trailblazers. They're pushing boundaries, challenging norms, and redefining what it means to be a modern royal. They're not causing trouble, they're inciting change, and they've faced resistance. Change is often met with resistance, especially when it challenges long-held beliefs and traditions. But their persistence in the face of adversity speaks volumes about their character. It takes real strength to challenge the status quo, to put family first, and to live your truth, and that's what matters. Meghan and Harry are not just surviving, they're thriving, and in doing so, They're showing the world that it's okay to be different, to go against the grain and to forge your own path. At the end of the day, it's not about control, and it's certainly not about winning or losing. We've discussed how Meghan and Harry are leaders, heroes, a united team, and trailblazers, not the negative personas they've been painted as. They've navigated uncharted waters with resilience and poise, challenging outdated norms and sparking critical conversations about mental health, race, and the pressures of public life. Their actions have been less about rebellion and more about authenticity, about choosing a path that aligns with their values and priorities. Yet they've become targets of narratives like Alex Phillips that resist change and uphold the status quo. It begs the question, are Meghan and Harry the issue, or is it the fear of change? Because it takes real courage to challenge the status quo, to prioritise family and personal well-being over societal expectations. Meghan and Harry have chosen to live authentically, and if that's what makes them targets for narratives like Phillips, then maybe it's time we examine the real motives behind such criticism.